In this video, we will be covering tree felling. Areas covered include proper safety, techniques, and procedures. This video will be the first step in your training process by familiarizing you with tree felling. You must wear complete and proper PPE, including safety glasses, a helmet, hearing protection, a high visibility top, chainsaw pants or chainsaw chaps, and boots. Your equipment must be in good working condition. Before making any cuts to the tree, inspect the surrounding area, also known as a drop zone, for any hazards. First, look for items in the path of the tree. Items to look for could include fences, play sets, bird baths, electrical wires, or any other items the falling tree could come in contact with. It is important to know that it is possible for trees to break or splinter when impacting the ground, so an area 1.5 times the landing zone should be cleared. If the tree is unable to fit into the desired area, branches or upper portions of the tree may need to be removed prior to felling. Next, check the tree for any detached limbs, dead sections, decay, vines, lean, uneven canopy shape, or other issues that could affect the felling process. To best determine the direction in which a tree should fall, first pick the general direction in which there are no immediate obstacles. If there is a lean present, or if the canopy is more dense on one side, fell the tree in that direction if it is safe and there are no obstacles. Next, make sure that the tree will fit in that area. If you are not sure, you can use a stick to find out. Find a stick that is the same length between your hand when it is stretched out and your eyes. Make sure you wear safety glasses to avoid any injuries. Imagine that the stick is the tree and hold it straight up with your hand placed at where you will be putting in a notch. Stand at where you think the tree will fall and line your hand up with the tree at where you will be putting in the actual notch. Then, walk backwards until the top of the stick lines up with the top of the tree. It is highly important to keep your hand, arm, and head still and to line up the stick and tree with your eyes only. Once they line up, the spot you are standing at is the approximate spot your tree will fall, but as mentioned earlier, the landing zone should still be 1.5 times longer than the tree's height. Plan your escape route and remove any potential obstructions or hazards. When the tree begins to fall, the chainsaw operator should retreat on a 45-degree angle away from the tree trunk in the opposite direction of the fall. Do not use an escape path that would potentially hinder your safety or another person's safety. If you are participating in the tree removal but you are not the chainsaw operator, position yourself at a safe location by standing on the other side of the tree's intended fall direction, by exiting the work zone, or by standing clearly away from the drop zone at an off angle. To fell a tree, you will need to perform a notch cut and a back cut. A notch is a two-angled cut into a tree to dictate the intended direction of the tree's fall. A notch may be put in almost any tree but is required for trees with trunks greater than 5 inches DBH or diameter at breast height. There are 3 types of notches: open face, conventional, and Humboldt. Notches must be 45 degrees or greater and must be no deeper than 1/3 of the DBH. A back cut is a cut made on the opposite side of the notch that disconnects almost all of the tree trunk, leaving a hinge to help control the tree's fall and direction. The back cut and the notch cut must never overlap or touch because the tree may violently fall or kick back. The width of your back cut and hinge wood will vary from tree to tree, but the back cut should be around 1/2 of the tree's DBH and the hinge should be around 1/10 of the tree's DBH. With a conventional or Humboldt notch, the back cut should be 1 to 2 inches above the apex of the notch. With an open face notch, the back cut should be at the same level as the apex of the notch. To cut your chosen notch, make the top cut first and your bottom cut second. After making the top cut of the notch, you can use it as a sight to help line up your bottom cut. It is good practice to pause between each cut and before making your back cut to ensure the notch matches with the intended direction of the tree's fall. Make sure that your cuts are straight and even and not crooked or curved. When cutting a notch, Use the felling sights on your chainsaw to assist in creating a notch in the intended direction. The felling sight is perpendicular 90 degrees to the guide bar and can be used to help line up the hinge to the target felling area. It is highly important to ensure that your top and bottom cut meet at the same point in the trunk and that neither cut extends past the other. If your notch is straight and even and your top and bottom cut meet at the same point, you are now able to make your back cut. Your back cut must be straight and level. If needed, you can carefully outline your back cut on the surface of the trunk using your chainsaw to help guide your cut. When felling a tree, one thing to watch out for is a barber chair, a potentially sudden and violent vertical split of the tree trunk that occurs when felling a tension tree. To reduce this risk, relieve the tension of the tree by removing upper portions of the tree. If a tree starts to barber chair, quickly turn off the chainsaw and use your escape route. To maximize flexibility and motion in the event of an accident, do not operate a chainsaw on both knees when felling a tree.
It is common to fell a tree with a tagline, aka rope. It just depends on the situation. A tagline must be used if the DBH of the tree is greater than 5 inches in order to help the tree fall in the intended direction. The tagline can either be pulled by hand or attached to a vehicle to assist in the pulling. Attached to a vehicle is highly recommended when felling larger trees. Wedges in the back cut are encouraged to also help the tree fall in the intended direction and to minimize the risk of your chainsaw binding to the wood. Additional options in tree felling will be covered in your in-person training, but these are the most common scenarios.
Communication is vital for the safety and efficiency of a tree felling. Use commands such as "stand clear" when operating the chainsaw and use responses such as "clear" when assisting in the felling. You may also use predefined hand signals or SINAs on your helmet to increase communication and safety. Everyone in the field must be visible with one another until the tree has been felled or until the worksite is completely safe. Clients or members of the public may also be nearby as tree felling tends to draw an audience. Ensure that anyone not involved in the tree felling process is at least 2 times the height of the tree away from the landing zone. If all steps and safety measures above have been used and taken into consideration, the tree may now be felled. After the tree has fallen, process the wood into small and manageable pieces. Size will vary based on your needs and equipment. Lower the stump to as close to ground level as possible without chainsaw contact with dirt or gravel. The next step now in your training process is to meet with a crew leader or production manager to receive hands-on experience with tree felling.